Presidents Jacob Zuma and Thabo Mbeki on Friday made a formal application for the recusal of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Inquiry chairperson Sisi Khampepe. The application was made alongside the former presidents. Both as heads of state expressed their disapproval of Khampepe's involvement in the commission. And joining us now for more on this conversation is the Jacob Zuma Foundation spokesperson, Mr. Mzwanele Manyi, and he joins us now in studio for more on this discussion. Mr. Manyi, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Now, yesterday at the Commission of Inquiry, which is the TRC Commission, the former President Jacob Zuma alongside former President Thabo Mbeki ventilated their thoughts in terms of why they feel that Justice Sisi Khampepe should not be part of this TRC inquiry, and basically just saying that she will be biased, and of course these hearings will not be partial.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for the opportunity, and Happy New Year to you and the rest of your viewership. I think a couple of things. Firstly, before we even start, I think it's important to underscore the fact that His Excellencies or Their Excellencies President Zuma and President Mbeki, I don't know when last they had tea together. At some point we must do something to get these oldies to have tea together. But they haven't spoken for a while. And the point about this is that, be that as it may, they've got issues that must be resolved. But interestingly, on this issue, they are so together. It's like they're caucused, and they haven't caucused. I can confirm that. They haven't even caucused the matter, but they're together on this. There are three issues from the Jacob Zuma side. There's a coincidence on the one issue, on the issue of conflict, and then there's two others which I'll talk to just now. Firstly, on the issue of conflict, on the issue of conflict, His Excellencies, both of them are arguing that the commission right now is meant to deal with all the efficacies or lack thereof of everything around what should or should not have happened with the prosecutions and everything, all the delays and all of that. Now, the role players in all of this is the various heads of state, is the NPA, is TRC, and now the issue here is a very simple one, that Justice Khampepe was at one point, she was at NPA at the time when the commission was referring things to the NPA. She was at the NPA, not some clerk in the NPA. She was the deputy to Advocate Bulelani Ngcuka. So she was very high up in the NPA. So she would have had a say institutional in terms of who must be prosecuted and all of that. So we are saying on that score and that score alone, she should have just said to President Ramaphosa, no, I can't take this assignment. Not only that, she was also part of the original TRC, as it were. This is where they made a whole range of decisions. A decision to decide whether a matter belongs in the TRC or not. A decision of whether more investigation must go to the police or not. A decision on where things must be referred to in terms of prosecution. A decision whether some people must get amnesty or not. So they are an integral part of the issues that we're dealing with here. Now, to then have her sitting here today, marking her own homework about who did what and all of that, and it's just untenable, the situation that everybody is finding himself in, to be having to deal with it. I think anybody with a reasonable sense of judgment would have just said, no, I'm conflicted here, and stop at that. I think we even ask ourselves as to why, what is it that President Ramaphosa, with all the advisors that he has around him, didn't even see this, because it actually caused us all this problem. There's over 300 odd judges in this country that are ready to do any of this, these tasks. Why to pick on this one? So that's the first set of issues. The second set of issues is very, very important. It's the issue of ethics. The issue of ethics is a key thing. You know, Judge Lope was red-carded for simply saying, "Sesthembelegi." Justice Khampepe has done 10 times more. She did not just say "Sesthembelegi" story. What she has done is that Advocate Seminya, who was being impugned by Mbeki at some point to say this, that, and the other, we have evidence that Justice Khampepe then tipped the lawyers of Semenya as to what to say, what not to say, so that I can make the right ruling. Imagine, you know, Advocate Mpofu was making this example to say, you know, in a soccer team, can you imagine if a referee was to go to the change room of the one side of the team and go to team A and just have a discussion with them about how the game should play? It would be, but let me just get to the third point. That's number 2. Number 3, the issue of apprehension of bias. You know, His Excellency President Zuma has got a very serious issue with the manner in which Justice Khampepe firstly penned the July 21 judgment, because that judgment was actually the most travesty of justice, where his constitutional rights were just totally violated. But let me just finish the point. It's a very important point, where he had his rights violated. He could not even plead guilty or not guilty. He could not even plead mitigation of sentence. He could not even have the opportunity to appeal. That's a kind of judgment that she has pleaded.
All right, Mr. Manyi, we don't have enough time. At the same time, there has been criticisms which have come to the fore, and these are issues of the families who've been affected by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission.
Yes.
There are a number of victims and families who feel as if there was no justice for their family members.
We agree with them.
Who also suffered the atrocities. What do you make of the criticism from those families who are saying that, well, we want to see this TRC, Commission of Inquiry, go ahead so that we can find justice for our families? We
totally agree with them. They are on the point. We agree with them 100%. And it's all in Justice Khampepe's hands. She could have, after listening to the arguments yesterday, she could have just said, no, I hear what you're saying, I'm out of here. Then this thing can happen the next day. Then she reserves judgment. I don't know why, because this was just straightforward. Also because on all the matters that have been put before her, actually they can be taken as common cause, because she did not even bother to write anything to respond to the issues. People are just talking and saying this and putting evidence. She's got nothing on paper. And then lastly, she then put, I think some advocate did something on her behalf and all of that. And then she doesn't even put a confirmatory affidavit of what is being said about her. So as we sit here and now, legally speaking, there's actually nothing in front of that commission that talks to her own defense on this issue. So this matter should be straightforward. On Monday, we should hear that she's pulled out of this.
And when we wait for Monday and she doesn't recuse herself, are you taking any further action?
Well, South Africa has got what we call rule of law. And when we have judges like this one, who just has got no regard for the law, you know, this judge has got no regard for the law. If you look at Article 11... serious accusations. No. I'll make my point. Article 11 of the Code of Conduct, Judicial Code of Conduct, 11B, is very clear that when you are a judge, you are not supposed to be commenting on cases, as it were. Kolim in newsroom, he asked her about the July 21 case. She went to town to explain the thing about how they needed to not to pander to Zuma and all of that. But the point is to deal with the case that you set in and all of that was before court as a judge. It's in the Code of Conduct, it's in black and white, you should not do this, but she's done it.
All right.
Purely on that, it just shows she's got no regard for the law. So if now she's going to again show that she's got no regard for the law, President Zuma will have no other choice but to make sure that the law takes its course and will take it to the next level.
Mr. Manyi, thank you so much for your time. That's the Jacob Zuma Foundation spokesperson there, Mzwanele Manyi, just giving us his insights in terms of what took place yesterday at the TRC Commission of Inquiry. And as you heard there, that judgment has been reserved. We are expecting a response from Justice Sisi Khampepe on Monday.